Okay, so let's take a look at number 9. A firefighter is trying to shoot water straight into the middle of the window located at the second floor of a house at a height of 6 meters above the ground. The distance between the firefighter and the house is 8 meters, and when he holds the fire hose 1.8 meters above the ground, the water leaves the hose with a constant speed of 12.5 meters per second. Initially, the firefighter aims the hose at 53 degrees above the horizontal and misses the window. How much time will it take for the water flow to reach the house? So the only thing we need to concern ourselves with here is the horizontal velocity and the horizontal distance. We actually already know the horizontal distance is 8 meters. So the only thing that we need to know for the time is how fast it's going across this 8-meter space, or how rapidly it's going across this 8-meter space. So what the horizontal velocity is, and that's found in the same way we find horizontal velocity on other problems. So we've got our initial velocity of 12.5, that's meters per second, 12.5 meters per second, and it's at an angle of 53 degrees. So we know that the horizontal velocity, or the component of the horizontal velocity, Vx0, is going to be equal to 12.5 times the cosine of 53. That is our horizontal velocity. By using a straightforward, we could use just speed equals distance divided by time sort of equation, but we'll look at the kinematic versions of it. And that's simply going to be x equals x0 plus v0 times time. And I suppose I could add the rest of it here, plus a half acceleration in the x direction times time squared. But because we know this is not accelerating in the x direction, this entire term is 0 because our acceleration is 0. So really all we're interested in is the left-hand side of it here. And that's going to give us our time. So I'm going to say we'll ignore this over here and simply we'll rearrange this for time because we already know that acceleration is 0. And we're going to get t equals x minus x0 over velocity, or Vx0. Sorry, that should really have been a Vx0. And this, so let's figure out what these various parts are. We can say that our initial position, or in the x direction, this location here, where the firefighter is, we'll call that 0. And actually, let's set up our coordinate plane so we know that this upwards positive direction is y, and the horizontal positive direction is to the right. So upwards is positive and to the right is positive. So our initial position here in the x direction is 0, and our final position over here in the x direction is going to be 8 because this is 8 meters away. So that's time, or let's write it out over here. X equals 8. X0 equals 0. And Vx0, well, we already know what Vx0 is. That's over here. So time is equal to 8 minus 0 over 12.5 times the cosine of 53. And that is how long it's going to take. So this ends up being time t equals 1.06 seconds, but I'm actually going to add on the rest of the decimal points here because I think when we come to other parts, this will become more relevant. 1.06345. Now, to answer this, we'd probably only put in 1.06 seconds, but I'm adding these extra decimal places here because I didn't do this with previous examples, but when we're using the time in other calculations, we're going to want to have a better or more accurate version so we're not using rounded values. So how far above the middle of the window does the water go? So now the question is how far above? So the water is going to come from the firefighter and it's going to go up, but it's not going to land at 6 meters here. It's actually going to land above the 6 meters. So the water the firefighter is spraying is actually going to go too high. So we don't know what velocity it's going to be up there. We're going to have to consider what the vertical component of the velocity is and how that's going to change over time and how we're going to use that, and using this time value, how we're going to calculate its vertical displacement. So let me minimize this section here. So this is going to go over here. Actually, I'll hide it under this. And so now let's take a look at what the vertical amount is going to be. Now remember that the vertical value, Vy0, is going to be equal to 12.5, not 1.5, 12.5 times the sine of 53. So in the same way we kind of use this equation here, but we remove the acceleration times time squared part because it was 0, we're going to use the same equation to find the vertical position of the water, but we're going to have to keep this in because acceleration is now not 0 anymore. It's actually, well, it's gravity. So write it out over here. Y equals y0 plus Vy0 times time plus a half times acceleration in the y direction times time squared. Now we know that y0, or let's decide on our coordinates here. We'll say that the initial position, or that the ground here, is 0. And the height up here, well, somewhere up here where the water lands, we're going to call y. Now remember that y0 is not actually going to be 0 in this situation. It's actually going to be 1.8, because that's how high the water is being launched from. So y0 equals 1.8. So now that we know a few things, so we've got, we'll write it down over here, y0 equals 1.8. Our velocity in the y direction we've got from up here. Our time we've got from over here. And the acceleration in the y direction, ay is going to be equal to negative g, or negative 9.8. So these are all the various things that we're going to need for this equation now. And now we're going to start filling it in. We're looking for y, which is, we're not going to have to rearrange it. So that ends up becoming y equals 1.8 plus 12 sine 53, 12.5 times the sine of 53, all of that in parentheses, times the time. I'm not going to have enough room here. I'm going to move this stuff here out of the way. And make it smaller. So that stuff's there. Okay. Back to the equation. Times the time, which is going to be 1.06345. Notice I'm using the entire unrounded version of the time. This is why we didn't have enough room. Plus a half times negative 9.8 times 1.06345 squared. This entire thing is going to give us our height, and this is what you would put. I would put this entire thing in the calculator in one go to calculate what your height is going to be. So this ends up being 6.87482. 6.87482. Now, what I will also point out is that this isn't actually the answer to the question. The question is, how far above the middle of the window does the water go? Well, if this is the height that the water goes and the window is 6 meters up, the actual answer to this is going to be 0.874 or 0.87. We'll round it for this. It's our final answer. And that is actually going to be how far above the window the water's actually hitting. So that's it. We now know how far above the window the water hits. So let's minimize this. Squeeze this in over here. Put this over it as well. Okay, so this is the height of the height that we're given, 0.87 meters. What is the magnitude of the velocity of the water when it strikes the house? So now we're going to need to know what the velocity in our y direction is, because to find the magnitude of the velocity, we're going to have to combine our x and our y components for our velocity. And to do that, all we're going to be using is Vy equals Vy0 plus Ay times time. So our velocity equals our initial velocity plus our acceleration times our time. So to find out what our velocity is, we'll basically plug these values back in using this stuff over here. The velocity in the y direction when it hits the house is going to be equal to our initial velocity, which is 12.5 sine of 53, plus our acceleration, which is negative 9.8, times our time, which is going to be what we calculated earlier, 1.06345. And now this is what we're going to use to find our velocity. So Vy is going to be equal to, that's negative 0.438866. Now, again, we would want to round this if it was our final answer, but it's not, because this is just the velocity in the y direction. Now, what I will point out as well is because this is a negative value, this actually tells us something. This tells us that the water went up and then came back down as it hits the house. So it's actually going up and coming back down before it hits the house. So let's take a look at how we're going to use this here. So we need to know that, so we've got a horizontal velocity Vx. This is the velocity in the x direction. And we've got a vertical velocity Vy. This is our velocity in the y direction. And we're going to want to find the entire velocity. And so simply we're going to square this value, square this value, add them together and take the square root. Pythagorean theorem, again, to add our two vectors together. So that's going to be the square root of, open parentheses, 12.5 cosine of 53 close parentheses, squared, plus, now I suppose negative 0.438866 squared. Now, as you know, the fact that this is negative inside the and it's being squared means that it will become a positive value, and therefore our total velocity, so that's v, our total velocity v is going to be equal to, this ends up being a value of 7.54 meters per second. That's rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so what's the magnitude? That's 7.54 meters per second. Okay, now let's condense all this up. That's frustrating. Okay, well, I'm just going to erase this because it's too difficult to move. And this here, we're going to move over here as our velocity after that time. And as with that, we're going to move this stuff out as well and shrink this down. Okay. Last one. What must the minimum angle and speed of the flow in order? What must be the minimum angle and speed of the flow in order to get water into the middle window? Okay. So for this final problem here, what must the minimum angle and speed of the flow what must be the minimum angle and speed of the flow in order to get water into the middle of the window? This is not actually a very good question, and I'm not going to go through it with you right now. I've spent some time taking a look at it. I've taken a look at the answers, and essentially we end up with the slight problem. You can decrease the flow and get a maximum, or get an angle that would get the water into the window at the minimum flow, or you can increase your flow and get a lower angle. Either way, it's not a particularly well thought out question, so I'm not going to ask you guys to go through this one here. But the rest of these answers here are all correct.